So today I'm going to be taking a look at a bunch of different cases from different manufacturers, telling you why I think these cases are some of the best cases you can buy right now for all of the new phones out, and of course all the phones that already exist. Welcome back to another episode of Stu's Reviews. Preemptively, if you find today's video of any help at all, don't forget to hit that subscribe button at the very end. And if you're already a subscriber or you hit that subscribe button, don't be afraid to press that notification bell to see all notifications from the channel. I'd be super appreciative, and if you do that, let me know in the comments below. Let's dive in. So the first case I want to take a look at is gonna be, I'm gonna take a look at these ones here by Spigen. The Spigen Tough Armor series uses a tried and tested method of a harder plastic exterior with a rubbery cushioned interior. It has a hole for your phone's logo, which some will like and some will not. My favourite addition though is a little inbuilt clip to stand your phone up. I've always enjoyed Spigen cases because they've always been quite robust, and this particular range, the Tough Armor range, has been my favourite of them all. And the reason being is this on the back is really cool. I know it's a stupid little thing, but it's a little stand that's built into it, and it means you can stand your phone up and watch stuff without having to sit there on the train and hold your phone. It means you can actually stand it up on the table and watch content from your device. Now, also, I dropped this off a castle once to see if it could protect my phone. I've come to Bronclis Castle to throw this phone off the top and see whether or not the case protects it. So, here we go. Hold on. Oh dear. As you can see, the phone case stayed rather intact. Unfortunately, it didn't protect the phone, however, which actually bent quite severely in the fall. It didn't protect it at all, but it did protect it from a standard drop. Let me show you. Well, aside from being a bit mucky, everything seems pretty good. So that is the Tough Armor cases by Spigen. Definitely robust, won't survive a castle drop, but has some nifty little features like the little stand on the back, so you can stand your phone up. I just love that. I think it's fantastic. 2 angles as well. Very good indeed. The next cases I want to take a look at are the cases by Minimal. And I've got 4 here. I've got a matte black, frost white, and a clear. These are possibly one of the thinnest cases I've ever seen for a phone ever. Now, you can get cheap thin cases online. However, generally speaking, they go around the camera. A bit like, say, this one here. You notice a great big gaping hole in here. Now, what that means for your phones, in fact I have one here, is that you could quite easily damage the glass on the cameras, or certainly around the camera, because it's not protecting that. The Minimal case covers it. The Minimal case is quite simply that, minimal. It has a super sleek design that's absolutely wafer thin, thinner than a 1p piece. What's unique about this case is it protects the glass around the cameras, something that many case manufacturers often neglect. So that is the Minimal case. Do you know what? It is fantastic because it doesn't feel like I've got a case on my phone. Yes, okay, fine. It changes the feel of the actual phone, but it doesn't feel like there's any difference in size. That is because it is millimetre precision, and the fact that my camera area is protected as well. Overall, that is cool. Yes, I mean, look, I acknowledge that this will not protect it from drops, but it will protect it very, very well from scrapes. If you're putting it down like that all the time, it will protect your cameras from any abrasion from the surfaces you put it down on. It's just a beautiful looking case, and if you're not a fan of the aesthetic of the phone or even the colours of the phone, you can change it using these cases and feel like you're using your phone in its birthday suit. So to summarise, even though they're not that protective, the minimal cases are extremely beautiful. Now the next ones I want to take a look at are by a company called Moose. Now these have also been on the channel, much like the Spigen Tough Armour. Moose Limitless cases have always been one of my favourites in appearance, coming in a variety of different colours and options that use real natural occurring materials in their construction. This one is a bamboo veneer. The inside is protected by an impact-resistant gel in the bumpers and a soft microfiber finish. Moose cases work with a ton of magnetic accessories from Moose, and they also feature a little compartment to store 2 extra SIM cards and a SIM pin. The Moose cases are great, and do you know what? Don't just take my word for it. Lots and lots of YouTubers have extensively tested this for dropping. This is probably one of the most protective phone cases for dropping I've ever seen, and people have dropped it from ridiculous heights. Now, when I initially did my test, I simply dropped it from a normal height that normal people would drop it from. You know, I've got it right here, and I'll just give it a quick drop. It made a sound there. The case is a bit knackered, but the phone is, and it survived. So, you know, overall I wasn't that impressed with that because lots of people have already done that test and shown that the phone can survive. I wanted to take it a little bit further, so I decided to shoot it and see how protective it was against a shotgun. Now I happen to have that case that we shot here, and as you can see, it completely destroyed it. Let's take a look back and have a look in more detail. It seems to have completely powdered the phone. I mean, there is glass bits falling out of the phone everywhere. A crying shame that it didn't survive that shot test. But what I will say is that the Moose cases are one of the most nice designs I've ever seen. You can get a variety of different colours on the back. I mean, these are a walnut and bamboo veneer. And on the inside, it just has some of the best design. It genuinely does. I think the Moose cases are fantastic, and they're a very, very good choice if you want protection for your phone. Now, a few of you may have seen a review I did earlier this week, and I mentioned that I'd do this case roundup video. But in that review, I reviewed these Caseology cases. Now, I want to give them another mention because the design of these are something special. Honestly, they are beautiful cases. All of the Caseology things, except maybe the clear one, are really nicely designed, and they're explicitly solid when you put them on. This one here is called Caseology Vault Series. A good, solid design that can add a lot of class to your phone while still offering a good level of protection. What I like about the Vault Series is its textured finish, which is not too dissimilar than what you'd find on a DSLR camera grip. I love it. Honestly, I think this is a superb case, and it is definitely in the cycle of cases that I now have on my phone. So if you're looking for just a really nice design that is a solid build, just a good, solid, all-round case, then I think Caseology cases definitely hit that mark for me, and that is why they get a mention in today's episode. Next up, we have another case that I shot, and this time it's by a company called Pitaka. Pitaka cases use a high-grade military material called aramid fibre in their construction. This makes them super strong despite being quite thin. These cases can also connect to magnetic accessories, much like the Moose cases. Now you'll notice it has a bit of a kind of carbon fibre-esque appearance. Well, that is something called aramid fibres, I think. I investigated this in my review of the Pitaka cases, which I will link there for you, so you can take a look at that. But these are supposed to be some of the strongest possible materials that you can get in a phone case. But I was quizzical because it was very, very, very thin. So I wondered exactly how strong it would be and how it would survive an impact. So I dropped it from standard height and it survived. Now obviously I had to test the fact that this is supposed to be near bulletproof. So I also shot it. Right then, let's give this a go. Now I have here the case that we shot. As you can see, it wasn't quite as good a hit as that one. I don't know why. I was obviously drunk that day. Now the unfortunate news is that it didn't protect the phone. The phone was completely ruined on the inside. Have a look. Maybe not quite as good as I had originally thought. I mean, on the inside, only this one seems to have really broken through. However, the sheer impact has in fact destroyed the back of the phone. But what I was super surprised with was how well this stood up to those pellets. The fact that it survived pretty much intact and the bullets only went through in a couple of places was very, very impressive. So if you are looking for a bulletproof phone case, this isn't it. But it did very, very well, all things considered. On to the last and most important phone cases, which you've probably been noticing over here as the bright blue and bright yellow cases. These cases are by a company called Peeler, and you'll be very, very surprised to know that these are made from plants. Let's take a closer look. If you want to do some good for the world, then Peeler cases are the ones for you. Made from plants, these cases are pretty unique and super ethical, and it also means that they won't take 300 million years to decompose like your plastic ones. Now you know I absolutely hate plastic pollution. I hate it. I can't stand plastic pollution. It is just one of the most ridiculous things in the world. I understand the need to use plastic in certain things. Absolutely, 100%. But what I don't understand is single-use plastics. It's just stupid. I mean, all the packaging that I get sent, loads and loads of plastic. For what? Just use cardboard or recycled paper or something that isn't plastic. But the reason I like these so much is because of this. Hold on. Because of this. These are all of the cases from my previous phones. I've got some Pitaka here, I've got some Apple silicone ones, I've got some plastic here, some more plastic here. These are all from my previous phone. That was one generation of phone ago. So every single generation of phone, you might buy some cases. Now, yes, this is a bit eccentric and most people won't have this many cases, but I can guarantee there's a good chance most people will have about 4 phone cases in their time of having a particular phone over a year or 2. Now, if you're upgrading every year, all of this is useless. Absolutely useless, because it doesn't fit the new phone anymore. So all of this goes into landfill or into the sea, polluting our sea ecosystems. Now, these are super, super special because they're made of plant. You can chuck them in your compost bin once you're done, and they biodegrade. And you can use that then to grow some plants. So these are phenomenal. And not just that, the company themselves, Peeler, give a lot to various charities around the world that do things like protect honeybees or protect turtles. They do a hell of a lot. So in terms of making yourself feel good that you're doing something good for the environment and not destroying it, then these are fantastic. Now, I'm sorry to sound a bit preachy when I talk about plastic, but it is the most ridiculous thing in the world. Plastic pollution is one of my biggest bugbears. And if you don't want to support plastic pollution, then peeler cases definitely are a good way to go. I will say this, however, and unfortunately it's a slight criticism on peeler's part. However, they seem to have done much better with the new phone cases. With the old one, the iPhone XS, the case seemed a little bit loose around the corner. However, the new ones seem to fit much nicer. I'll give them a few points there and say well done for upgrading your cases. But if you do have a slightly older phone, the case might not fit quite as nicely. I mean, it's still a little bit loose there. You can see how easy that is to pull off. In most cases, you have to use 6 hands and a crowbar to wrench them off. But this is a lot easier to come off. So I guess if you're dropping it from quite a high place, it could have the chance to knock the case off like that and then bend your phone or break your phone. But I don't care, because of the good to the environment that these do over all the plastic cases that we use. Now, this isn't a criticism of all of these, because these are some phenomenal cases, but I get that plastic pollution isn't in the forefront of everyone's mind. All I'm asking is just be a little bit conscious, and even if it's just a little small thing like getting yourself something like a biodegradable phone case, that makes a difference. Never believe that a singular action doesn't make a difference, because it absolutely does. Before we conclude today's video, I just want to say a massive thanks to all my current patrons. Without you guys, I couldn't do Stu's reviews. So a huge thank you to every single one of you. So let's round up. We've got the Pitaka cases, fantastically protective for the size that they are. Very slim, very protective. Can't stop a bullet, but might stop a shotgun. We've got the Spigen Tough Armor cases. Good design, nifty little features, will protect it from some high drops, but maybe not off a castle. Caseology cases, wonderfully designed, good solid build, and they're not going to break the bank as well, because a lot of them are under 15 quid. The minimal cases, I can't really say much more than that. They are minimal, and that is why I like them so much, because they're minimal, they make you feel like your phone is fresh, and make you feel like you're using it without a case. So very good. The Moose cases are one of the most protective cases that I've found, certainly for dropping, but again, unfortunately, won't survive a shotgun blast. But they do allow you to take SIM cards and SIM pins with you everywhere you go. If you want to feel good about yourself and you want to do something good for the environment, then peeler cases are for you. And these are my favourite cases and case manufacturers that you can get right now. So if you want to check any of these out, I'll leave a link in the description below to all of them. Check them out, and like I said, I've done a review of a few of them. I've done a review of the Moose, the Pitaka, the Caseology and the Spigen cases, so you can check out my reviews in the links below as well. Other than that, a reminder, if you liked today's video and you found it of any help, don't forget to hit that subscribe and that notification bell, and I'll see you back for another episode of Stu's Reviews soon. Before you go, consider supporting me on my Patreon page by clicking here. It'll give you some great discounts on stuff I've reviewed and helps me to continue doing reviews. If you want to see some fun stuff, click here to see the highlights of Stu's Reviews. And as a friendly reminder, click this button to subscribe.